We've all been there. A small cut from a kitchen knife, a scrape on the playground, a little scratch that seems like nothing. But what we often forget is that even the tiniest injuries can open the door to serious infections. One such infection is tetanus, a severe bacterial disease that can have devastating consequences. Tetanus shots are our best defense against this silent threat. They work by introducing a weakened form of the tetanus toxin into our bodies, allowing our immune system to build up a resistance without causing the disease. This protection is crucial, as tetanus can be fatal. Think back to the last time you got a cut or scrape. Did you get a tetanus shot afterward? If not, you might be at risk. Staying up to date on your tetanus vaccinations is vital for protecting yourself and your loved ones. Let's dive deeper into the world of tetanus, separating fact from fiction, and understanding why this often overlooked vaccine is so crucial. Tetanus has long been associated with rusty nails, and while it's true that rusty metal objects can harbor the bacteria that cause tetanus, the association is a bit misleading. Tetanus is not caused by rust itself, but by a bacterium called Clostridium tetani, which is found everywhere in the environment. These bacteria are particularly prevalent in soil, dust, and manure, but they can also be present on seemingly clean surfaces. This means you don't need to be impaled by a rusty nail to be at risk. Any break in the skin, no matter how small, can provide an entry point for the bacteria. Even seemingly harmless activities like gardening, working with wood, or getting a minor scratch from a pet can expose you to the bacteria. That's why it's so important to understand that tetanus is not just a risk for those who work in construction or spend a lot of time outdoors. It's a risk for everyone. Understanding the widespread nature of Clostridium tetani is the first step in appreciating the importance of tetanus vaccination for people of all ages and lifestyles. Clostridium tetani bacteria are anaerobic, meaning they thrive in environments without oxygen. When these bacteria enter the body through a wound, they find the perfect conditions to multiply. Deep puncture wounds, such as those caused by stepping on a nail, are particularly susceptible because they often lack oxygen. Once inside the body, Clostridium tetani release a potent toxin called tetanospasmin. This toxin attacks the nervous system, disrupting the signals that control muscle movement. This disruption leads to the characteristic muscle spasms and stiffness associated with tetanus. What makes tetanus particularly dangerous is that the early symptoms can be subtle and easily mistaken for other conditions. Muscle stiffness, especially in the jaw and neck, is often the first sign, but this can be mistaken for a pulled muscle or a stiff neck. As the toxin spreads, the muscle spasms worsen and become more widespread, eventually affecting the entire body. Understanding how tetanus progresses silently from a seemingly minor wound to a life-threatening condition underscores the critical role of prevention through vaccination. Tetanus is a cruel disease, slowly taking over the body and causing excruciating pain. As the tetanospasmin toxin wreaks havoc on the nervous system, the muscles begin to contract uncontrollably. These contractions are not the normal twitches or spasms we might experience after exercise. They are powerful, sustained contractions that contort the body into unnatural positions. One of the most well-known and feared symptoms of tetanus is lockjaw, also known as trismus. The jaw muscles clench shut with such force that it becomes impossible to open the mouth. This makes speaking, eating, and even breathing incredibly difficult. But the torment doesn't end there. The muscle spasms spread throughout the body, affecting the back, chest, arms, and legs. These spasms can be so severe that they break bones and tear muscles. The pain is relentless, and even the slightest touch or noise can trigger agonizing convulsions. Imagine your body betraying you, every muscle locked in a state of agonizing tension. This is the reality of tetanus, a horrifying disease that can be prevented with a simple vaccine. Section 5. Your body's armor. How tetanus shots protect you. Tetanus shots, also known as tetanus toxoid vaccines, are incredibly effective in preventing this devastating disease. These vaccines work by triggering your body's natural defense system, the immune system, to build immunity against the tetanus toxin. The vaccine contains a harmless, inactivated form of the tetanospasmin toxin. When you receive the vaccine, your immune system recognizes this inactivated toxin as a foreign invader and mounts an attack. It produces specialized proteins called antibodies that are specifically designed to target and neutralize the tetanus toxin. This initial exposure to the inactivated toxin through vaccination is like a training exercise for your immune system. It learns to recognize and remember the toxin so that if you are ever exposed to the actual bacteria, your body is prepared to fight back. The antibodies created in response to the vaccine act like vigilant guards, patrolling your bloodstream for any signs of the tetanus toxin. If they encounter the toxin, they swiftly bind to it, effectively neutralizing it before it can cause any harm. This is the power of vaccination, providing your body with the tools it needs to defend itself against dangerous diseases. Section 6. Booster shots, keeping your defenses strong. Like any good defense system, your body's immunity needs to be maintained over time. While the initial tetanus vaccine provides excellent protection, this protection wanes over time. This is where booster shots come in. Booster shots are additional doses of the tetanus vaccine that are given to boost your immune system's memory of the tetanus toxin. These booster shots reintroduce your body to the inactivated toxin, prompting it to produce a fresh supply of antibodies. The recommended schedule for tetanus boosters varies depending on your age and vaccination history, but in general, adults should receive a booster shot every 10 years. In the case of a deep or dirty wound, your doctor may recommend a booster shot, even if it hasn't been 10 years since your last one. Getting booster shots is like updating your antivirus software. It ensures that your body's defenses are always up to date and ready to protect you from potential threats. Section 7. Myths and misinformation, separating fact from fiction. Despite the proven safety and effectiveness of tetanus vaccines, misinformation and myths continue to circulate, causing unnecessary fear and doubt. Let's debunk some of the most common misconceptions. Myth 1. Tetanus is only a concern for children. Fact. While it's true that children are routinely vaccinated against tetanus, adults need protection too. Immunity from childhood vaccinations wanes over time, making booster shots crucial for adults. Myth 2. If you've had tetanus once, you can't get it again. Fact. Unfortunately, this is not true. Surviving tetanus does not confer lifelong immunity. You can get tetanus again, even if you've had it before. Myth 3. Tetanus shots are painful and cause serious side effects. Fact. Like any vaccine, tetanus shots can cause mild side effects such as pain, redness, or swelling at the injection site. These side effects are usually temporary and much less severe than the devastating consequences of tetanus. It's important to rely on credible sources of information such as your doctor or reputable health organizations to separate fact from fiction when it comes to vaccines. Section 8. Tetanus, around the world, a global health concern. While tetanus is relatively rare in developed countries with high vaccination rates, it remains a serious health concern in many parts of the world, particularly in developing nations with limited access to healthcare and vaccination programs. According to the World Health Organization, tetanus is still a leading cause of death in infants and mothers in some regions. Newborns can contract tetanus through unhygienic umbilical cord care practices, and mothers can become infected during childbirth if they haven't been vaccinated. Efforts to eliminate neonatal tetanus, a form of tetanus that affects newborns, have made significant strides in recent years thanks to global vaccination campaigns. However, there is still much work to be done to ensure that everyone, regardless of where they live, has access to this life-saving vaccine. The fight against tetanus is a global one, and it requires a collective effort to improve vaccination rates and promote safe practices worldwide. Section 9. Special cases. Tetanus in infants and pregnant women. Tetanus poses a particularly serious threat to infants and pregnant women due to their vulnerability to this potentially fatal disease. Protecting these groups requires special attention and tailored vaccination strategies. Newborns are at risk of contracting tetanus through their umbilical cord, especially if it's cut with unsterilized instruments, or if harmful substances are applied to the cord stump. To prevent neonatal tetanus, it's crucial for pregnant women to be vaccinated with the tetanus toxoid vaccine during pregnancy. The antibodies produced by the mother's immune system in response to the vaccine are passed on to the baby through the placenta, providing the newborn with passive immunity during the first few months of life. In addition to protecting newborns, tetanus vaccination during pregnancy also safeguards the health of the mother, who may be exposed to the bacteria during childbirth. Section 10. The importance of wound care. While tetanus shots are our primary defense against tetanus, proper wound care is equally important in preventing this serious infection. Whenever you have a wound, no matter how minor, it's crucial to clean it thoroughly and keep it clean and protected. Start by washing your hands thoroughly with soap and water. Then, gently clean the wound with soap and water, rinsing away any dirt or debris. Avoid using hydrogen peroxide or rubbing alcohol, as these can damage the skin and delay healing. Once the wound is clean, apply a thin layer of antibiotic ointment and cover it with a sterile bandage. Change the bandage daily and keep the wound clean and dry. If you notice any signs of infection such as redness, swelling, pus, or warmth, see your doctor immediately. Remember, prompt and proper wound care can significantly reduce your risk of tetanus and other infections. Section 11. Stay safe, stay protected, get vaccinated. Tetanus is a serious, potentially fatal disease, but it is preventable. Tetanus shots are safe, effective, and readily available. They are one of the most important things you can do to protect yourself and your loved ones from this devastating disease. Talk to your doctor about your tetanus vaccination history and make sure you and your family are up to date on your shots. Don't wait until it's too late. Get vaccinated today and stay protected. Remember, even the smallest wound can have serious consequences. Don't let tetanus take hold. Get vaccinated and stay safe.